Given up as scrap, the whole class were never considered in the 70s to even exist. A surviving one or two maybe, but not a complement of 19 complete locos, as has been made evident comparatively recently. These locos have classic, if not racy lines, and represent one of the world's rarest and historic steam survivors. From Shawcott, the train would progress slowly to Sargodha. Slowly, that is, as there was the necessity for several photo stops performed at a sedate pace. Pakistan's 440 SPS class formed the largest number of their type to be found left anywhere in the world, and were supplied by Vulcan, North British, Bayer Peacock and Armstrong Whitworth from 1904 to 1922. To feel these locos really canter along, a visit to the albeit crowded footplate was essential. The focal point of SPS action is indeed Malakwal. The shed at Malakwal best portrays the spirit of Pakistan's working inheritance of the steam age. Here, whilst lines of dead locos, including redundant SGCs, show the spreading decline, loco maintenance, albeit walking pace, continues against the odds. Here beneath a crumbling shed roof, we see local service locos receiving maintenance, and smoke boxes are literally hand-painted. By tradition, locos for special duties acquire a special livery, the presence of important visitors having a bearing on the shedmaster's opinion concerning the clean turnout of locos in his charge. And who was right, the umpire or Mike Gatting? Local debate with English visitors was not to be missed.
You lost World Cup by Mike Gatting because he played very bad on this day.
He played bad, yes. He was upset.
Upset.
By the umpire, yes.
By umpire.
Yeah.
Upset stomach as well.
Yes, upset umpire, upset tummy.
Yes.
But better for us to play in
Pakistan.
England because when English cricketers come over here, we get bad tummy and cannot play very well.
Yes.
So we lose.
Today, the Indus Express will negotiate gradients to Dan Dot, a branch that holds interesting photographic opportunities and that requires the work of our two painted SGS 060s of obvious British outline. The two locos, 2405 and 2470, being the same pair who opened the first leg of the Indus Express from Rawalpindi. The leading engine is 2470 en route for Dan Dot. Loco 2405 takes up the rear. With 2405 heading for the return, the train pauses and passes a late-running service train. Almost incredibly, walking up the grade, an SGS makes it into the loop, but only just. special had been a success despite a few local problems. Railway Travel and Photography's tour leader, Lou Johnson, tells us more.
At times it's been exceedingly dusty, and I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to a hot bath in the near future. But I think the average railway enthusiast is able to cope with the conditions because his main interest is obviously in steam locomotives, and he's prepared to put up with bad conditions for plenty of steam.
There must have been some pretty hairy moments, really, with the crowds, one way or the other.
Oh yes, stone throwing is not unknown. The golden rule is not to throw anything back, of course. And I think school kids are probably the worst. When it's school out time, around 3 o'clock, you find that 2,000 kids suddenly descend on all the photographers, and even if you're well hidden in full camouflage, they're likely to find you.
Where have the enthusiasts come from for the tour? How many have you got with you?
I think at the last count there's 57, of which I think 56 are active today. We've got enthusiasts from Holland, Switzerland, West Germany, Canada, USA, and also from Britain.
What about the future of steam in Pakistan?
It's hard to determine. Steam was gradually going downhill until about 1981, but poor availability of diesels in the early 80s meant that steam came back quite strongly, and depots which had only got nominal allocations of steam suddenly improved back to perhaps the 1970 position.
So will the Indus Express run again next year?
Ah, good question. If there's still steam, yes. Although I think possibly after leading this tour twice, I think the next stop will probably be the mental asylum.
From Malakwal once more, the SPS will take the train to Lala Musa, and from there diesel power will complete the circle back to Rawalpindi. And the opportunity is taken for a last lingering line-side look at a member of the SPS class leaving Lala Musa. Thousands of miles away, and almost insignificant in comparison, another single SPS maybe has a more secure, though not active, future. Ironically presented at a time when the class were in steep decline, number 3157 resides in Manchester's Museum of Science and Industry. Presented by the Pakistan government in April 1982, it was never dreamt in those days that a single example of exported British steam heritage would be in steam in 1980.